Hello and a warm welcome to this lecture exploring the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, Italy. My name's Kate Bolton-Porciatti. I'm a professor of cultural history here in Florence at the Istituto Lorenzo de' Medici. And it'll be my pleasure to take you on a virtual tour of the Uffizi's collections. It's one of the most famous art galleries in the world, and it's particularly noted for its extraordinary gathering together of Renaissance paintings. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on today. We'll look at works by Filippo Lippi, by Piero della Francesca, Botticelli, Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, Titian, Caravaggio, Michelangelo, really a host of extraordinary artists. As we wander through those corridors, we'll really see that the paintings, because they're hung chronologically, they take us on a journey, essentially, through artistic styles and techniques, through changing tastes and aesthetics, and also social mores. So it really is a glimpse into the Renaissance world, any visit to the Uffizi. The unfinished, but nonetheless extraordinary, Adoration of the Magi, carried out between 1481 to 1482, following a commission from the Augustinian monks of the convent church of San Donato in Scopeto, a church that no longer survives. The ruins of it are in the back garden where I live, actually. Well, Leonardo abandoned the work when he moved from Florence to the Sforza court in Milan in 1482. But indeed, it's the very unfinished state of this work that allows us to appreciate his prodigious drawing skills and his creative process, because you can see almost that he's sketching out portraits and animals, trying to capture their movements or their emotions. And you can see the so-called pentimenti, the thoughts made visual, as he constantly revises and rethinks and amends things. Well, ostensibly, the subject is the Adoration of the Magi, whom you can see kneeling around the Madonna and Child in the foreground with their gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And then around the three Magi are clamouring crowds of people. And in this sense, it's very unusual depiction of the Adoration of the Magi. It has a sense of turbulence. Look at some of the faces. The faces at once suggest wonder and bewilderment. And there are some really extraordinary portraits among these faces. Some are more fully sketched and shaded. Here, for instance, the group to the right of the Virgin. You can see that they're almost grotesque in their features and gestures. Others are more faintly drawn. The group to the left here, really a hauntingly beautiful, spectral group. The faces just seem to be forming into life. In the background of the painting here, you can see there's a broken arch and the remains of a ruined temple. Now, ruined temples like this were often used in adoration scenes or nativity scenes to suggest the crumbling of the pagan world and the idea that the Christian world rises on the ruins of pagan antiquity. Well, in addition to the many portraits of people gathering around the Virgin Mary in this work, Leonardo has depicted to the far right a man detached from the crowd, gazing out of the painting. And he's standing in the conventional position and pose in which 15th century artists portrayed themselves. We can only assume, therefore, that this is a self-portrait of Leonardo, who was around 30 at the time. it's interesting to compare this probable self-portrait with this beautiful bronze statue by Leonardo's master, Verrocchio. The bronze statue is supposedly of David. It's now in the Bargello Museum in Florence, but for it, we know that Verrocchio used as his model his good-looking young apprentice, then the teenaged Leonardo. And so you can see a distinct likeness between the teenage Leonardo here and the slightly older self-portrait there.